Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The first time I ever went up in a plane, I never came down. And the reason for that is, I went skydiving. Now that's a pretty daring thing to do, but it certainly doesn't represent the way I grew up. I grew up in Saginaw, Michigan. I was the fifth kid of 6. 3 boys, 3 girls. Because of circumstances in my life, I spent most of my childhood feeling stifled and afraid. Much of this is because at age 6, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Rather than being taught how to control and manage my diabetes, I was constantly told that if I didn't stop eating candy, I was going to go blind or die young. As with any repetitive message, if you hear that enough times, you start to believe it. Anytime I thought of my future, my mind would just scramble on me. Consequently, when I graduated from high school and went off to college, I had no idea who I was or what the right thing for me to do. I really thought I was going to die young. Now, the interesting thing about going off to college is that without my parents' influence, I began to learn to live life on my own and question the beliefs I grew up with. I wasn't ready to let go of the past, but I knew I needed to do something different if I was going to move forward in my life. And that's when my skydiving experience came along. It was in my sophomore year of college, and my roommate had talked a few of us into going. Now, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but after 2 days of training and lectures from the instructors, I knew. On the day of the event, we arrived at the airport, we got into our gear, went out to the plane, and taxied off the runway. Now remember, this was the first time I was going up in a plane. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about the thing that was going to come next. Once we got into the air, the roar of the engine got louder. The plane was rattling stronger. And one by one, the instructor yelled each person's name when it was their time to jump. And then it was my turn. I have to tell you, I was never so scared as I was at that moment in my life. My heart was pounding. But somehow I managed to scoot over to the doorway, get outside of the plane, and grab a hold of the struts. This was a time when you jumped on your own. With the wind whipping past me, I was looking at my instructor, and he yells, "Are you ready?" And I yell, "Yes!" And he says, "Jump!" And I pushed off with all my might. What a rush. I had let go and was totally on my own and free. The chute had already opened, so I wasn't worried about where I was coming from. I was thinking about where I was going and how I was going to get there safely. And for a few precious moments, I allowed myself to enjoy the journey and the new perspective I was getting. We were supposed to land on this big bullseye target on the ground, but I missed mine completely. I did land safely, however. And as I went running back over to my friends, I had this big smile on my face, and I was very happy with what I had accomplished. Until now, I never saw my skydiving experience as a defining moment of my life. But after that day, I became more adventurous, trying many new things, learning, growing, and moving further away from the place I had come from. So here I am standing here before you today, starting another new adventure. And I bring with me the lessons learned from my defining moment. Never let your fears hold you back. Let go and experience the freedom of a new adventure. Learn all that you can and enjoy the ride wherever you may land. Thank you.